Hey guys, Mr. Pokke here, back with another video, and today I'm just gonna talk a little bit quick about something that has been on my mind for the past couple of days. I don't think there's a better time to talk about this right now, so without further ado, let's get into today's content.
Subscribe!
This is probably one of the only regrets I have, and I do have very few regrets as being a content creator, but this is one that I think I've kind of noticed recently, especially with Honkai Star Rail's version 2.4 story, as well as Genshin Impact's recent Sumeru as well as Fontaine story. And that is basically paying attention to the stories of a gacha game that I'm playing. This could be any gacha game, it could be Rewarding Waves, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Xianzhou 0, whatever it is. I wish that when I started content creation, specifically as a gacha games, quote-unquote gacha games content creator, I paid a little bit more attention to the story, because what I realized after finishing, Honkai Star Rail 2.4, Genshin Impact 3.x as well as 4.x, I found myself enjoying these stories a lot more than I would have expected. This is in direct contrast with, at the start of my content creation journey, I was mainly focused on like meta analysis, guide making, best units, zero cycles, especially for Honkai Starbucks, and I didn't really focus that much on the story. Right, for Jorudo 6, Bellabog, even for the first part of like the xianzhou, I didn't really pay that much attention. At least not until when Penacony rolled around for Honkai Starbucks. That's when I actually really locked in. And ever since Penacony, I pretty much have always been locked into a gacha game story for the most part, right? I might have some schizo brain rot moments here and there, but I would say that around 80 to 90% of the time, I would be paying attention to the story. And the reason why I kind of want to talk about this is because the enjoyment, the fulfillment that I obtained from these kind of like gacha stories, they were actually a lot more than I could have possibly imagined. Now, they probably won't do that well in terms of like viewership on YouTube, on Twitch, because at the end of the day, I'm not a lore content creator. I'm not somebody that will say, oh, here's 10 things you missed out in xianzhou lore. Here's 10 things you missed out during the interaction between you and Lee. I'm not that person. I mainly play a game for their gameplay, the goofy ass, and the interactions with chat. But what I've came to realize is that when I am actually locked into the story for, let's just use Honkai Starbucks 2.4 example, right? The entire arc of Honkai Star Rail 2.4, it was actually a lot better than I expected it to be. Now, the reason why I say this is because for Penacony, I finished Penacony going into 2.4 without the mindset of thinking, you know what, 2.4 is going to be great. I was fully expecting 2.4 to be a filler patch, just chill, play some other games, and we just cruise until when Fei Xiao comes out, right? But to my surprise, the storyline of 2.4 was actually a lot more entertaining than I could have imagined. Specifically, I really like the fact that they decided to go about this direction of using a more goofy a more chill segment, especially for the first half between Yanqing and Yunli, as well as all of the Jingyuan, the general, the little rivalry between them, and then also March 7 becoming the student, and then both of them are competing who is going to be the better teacher for March 7, who's the better shifu. And it was actually just really fun. And I overall just had a really good time myself and with my chat, looking at some of their interactions, especially when, oh my god, when Fei Xiao comes out with her 2 bodyguards and she just one man stopped the fight between Yanqing and Yunli. It was great. And then it took a much more serious undertone at the second part of 2.4 story, which is where they discovered, Hulei unleashing the demons, and then they're gonna prepare for a full-on xianzhou invasion, preparing for war. Fei Xiao is gonna be gearing up, Jingyuan is gonna be gearing up, and it kind of ended at cliffhanger. So that's gonna be what we're gonna be expecting going towards 2.5, which our first unit is gonna be Fei Xiao. Looking forward to that, right? So I would say that this was a pleasant surprise that I, frankly speaking, probably would not even have experienced or enjoyed myself if I didn't lock in or pay attention to the story. If I didn't give this story a try, I'll probably just be like having brain rot, pressing the skip button, not paying attention to the dialogue. Maybe even if I only just focused for like the cutscenes, right, which they were beautifully animated, I don't think I'll get the full essence of the story, or rather the same amount of enjoyment I would have gotten compared to when I actually listen to the lines, listen to the dialogue, and look at the chemistry between the units and the plot. I really like this experience, and this was pretty much cemented by the fact that I felt similar things playing throughout Sumeru and playing throughout Fontaine. Although they took me a really long time because it's like, oh my god, it's like almost 4 years of content. And I kind of just finished everything in the past, I don't know, I think within the past 1 month, I cleared everything. I cleared Fontaine in 5 days, which is kind of crazy. I listened to 80-ish to 90% of every single dialogue, played through all the cutscenes, really simmered myself in the music of Genshin Impact, all that kind of stuff. And I found myself enjoying the story a lot. And one of the feedbacks that I think a lot of the audiences have, not just for Genshin Impact, but also for Honkai Star Rail, which is that there can be a lot of yap. I feel like for some of these dialogue options, if you just cut them out, you wouldn't really feel that much of the impact. But I feel that most of the time, it wasn't really the case, because they serve as a benchmark for me to kind of see how these characters interact, grow, and develop as the storyline progresses. And I think they get way too much hate than they deserve. People are saying it's like 90% yet, but only 10% of the good action cutscenes, which most of the time is going to be from the actual cutscenes, the big final boss fight, all that kind of stuff. I think it's more towards like probably 30-ish% yep, 20-ish to 30% yep. And the rest of the stuff, I think, you are not all like full-on action-packed cutscenes, but it definitely helped me as a viewer, as a consumer, as a gamer, find more enjoyment when we actually reach those cutscenes because of the underlying plot and development that has been taking place with all those set dialogues. Alright, so this is what I found, like I mentioned, for Honkai Star Rail and for Genshin Impact. 2.4, 3.0, 4.0, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, going forward, as I play more of these stories in Honkai Star Rail 2.5, Genshin Impact Netland, which is coming out next week. Xenoblade Zone Zero. Honestly, Xenoblade Zone Zero's story is also pretty good. Even though Xenoblade Zone Zero is more of the chill side, I'll definitely make more conscious efforts as a streamer to log into the story, which I have been doing so for pretty much every single time we're playing a new story, and really immerse myself in the plot that I can enjoy. Because at the end of the day, this story is gonna happen once, and you will never have the same experience ever again. There will only ever be your first playthrough of Fontaine. There will only ever be your first playthrough of Penacony, etc, etc. And I will definitely not ruin this experience for myself and for my viewers. And this kind of brings me to one of the last things, which is I like how in Honkai Star Rail 2.4, they are not afraid to mix in the goofy R moments with the serious action-packed moments. And I think this is one of the few times, or maybe I was just not paying enough attention, but I felt this was one of the few times where the story made me feel more relaxed. And I really appreciate this kind of like funny ass interactions. Instead of every single plot line being, oh my god, I need to save the world, I need to protect the villagers, I need to protect the citizens, I need to get the gnosis, I need to save Fontaine. Like, not everything is just 100% locked in, and I appreciate it. I appreciate this kind of like fun, cool, cute little interactions between Mark 7, Yanqing, and Yunli. And this is something that can also be seen from like majority of Xenoblade Zone Zero story. I think Xenoblade Zone Zero definitely took this aspect of like more casual storytelling to the next level, and I definitely enjoyed it. Even though it might not be like world-ending disasters, that the whole world is gonna collapse, everything is gonna die, everybody that you know is gonna be a disease if you don't save the world, I still appreciate it, even if it's not like fast or all in. And yeah, just to kind of summarize a little bit, I think Honkai Star Rail's overall, the xianzhou arc, as of where we are right now, I'm definitely looking forward to what 2.5 have to offer. How Fei Xiao is going to be leading our army, the war that's going to be waging against Hule. For Genshin Impact, looking forward to Netland, absolutely. We'll be trying that. And with Xenoblade Zone Zero, Jane Doe's story was fantastic. Looking forward to when Caesar King and Bernice comes out. And yeah, I'll definitely log in more and appreciate the story more as a streamer and for my viewers, right? So, word of the day is going to be story, right? So join Twitch, join Discord, join YouTube. All the best for the gacha pools, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.